Welcome to the Plastic Surgery Playbook.
Glad to be here for this one.
So, the cream sitting on your bathroom counter right now, the one promising youth, glowing skin, fewer wrinkles, it was actually born in a 1950s prison.
Yeah, which is something a lot of people just do not know.
It's wild. It was tested on incarcerated men at doses 100 times stronger than what is legally allowed today. And it caused their skin to literally blister and peel off in agonizing sheets.
It's an incredibly dark history for a beauty product.
Right. So today we're looking at that dark history and the absolutely fascinating cellular science of the undisputed superhero of skincare, which is retinol.
The absolute gold standard.
Exactly. So if you have ever stared at a wall of serums and wondered why the single ingredient is so hyped for aging skin, you are in the exact right place. We're pulling heavily from the expertise of Dr. Shim Ching today.
Right, who's a board-certified plastic surgeon.
Yes, practicing in Honolulu, Hawaii, as well as Dubai, Doha, and Hong Kong. He has nearly 30 years of experience in aesthetic medicine, and we're combining his clinical knowledge with historical accounts and dermatological journals.
Our goal is really to give you a complete, practical manual for your own face. We want to arm you with a science-backed strategy for incorporating retinol into your daily life.
Because you can't just guess with this stuff.
No, you really can't. We're exploring the cellular mechanics of what it actually does when it hits your skin, how to survive that notorious adjustment phase, and how to apply it correctly.
Because when you understand the biological why behind an ingredient, the daily how of your routine just makes perfect sense.
Exactly. But before we even think about applying this incredibly powerful molecule to your face, we have to address where it came from.
Yeah, the origin story of retinol is ethically complex and frankly jarring in a way most consumers have absolutely no idea about.
Well, the timeline itself starts innocently enough. I mean, vitamin A was discovered in 1909.
Okay, pretty early.
Right. Then it was isolated in 1931 and first synthesized in a lab in 1947. But its true dominance in the world of dermatology didn't begin until the 1960s.
And that shift was largely due to the work of a dermatologist named Dr. Albert Kligman, right?
Yes, Kligman. He co-invented Retin-A, which is the prescription drug tretinoin. Interestingly, he initially developed it solely as an acne treatment, and it gained FDA approval for that specific use in 1971.
Which makes sense. I mean, it clears out pores. But soon after it hit the market for acne, elderly patients who were prescribed the cream started reporting this massive secondary effect.
This total accidental discovery.
Right. They were coming back to their doctors saying their skin looked remarkably younger. Like the fine lines around their mouths were softening, their skin tone was evening out, age spots were fading.
And that accidental observation sparked massive clinical trials for its use on photodamaged skin.
Which basically triggered the massive anti-aging boom in the 1980s. And eventually, in 1997, Johnson & Johnson released the first stabilized over-the-counter retinol creams in the U.S.
But, and this is a huge but, the clinical trials that originally paved the way for that FDA approval are where the history gets incredibly grim.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Between 1951 and 1974, Dr. Kligman conducted highly unethical, non-therapeutic experiments on incarcerated individuals at Holmesburg Prison in Pennsylvania.
It's actually studied now as a textbook example of unethical human experimentation.
It is. The historical record details how inmates were intentionally exposed to pathogens, viruses, and incredibly harsh chemical compounds.
And when it came to developing Retin-A, the sources show Kligman tested staggering doses of 1% vitamin A acid on these inmates.
Just to put that in perspective for you, the strongest over-the-counter retinol you can buy today is typically around 1%. But vitamin A acid, like pure retinoic acid, is exponentially more potent.
Wait, so a 1% dose of that is...
It's roughly 100 times stronger than the standard prescription dose used today.
Oh, wow. 100 times.
Yeah. The physical trauma of applying that concentration to human skin is severe. It strips the epidermis, causing aggressive, painful peeling, intense erythema, which is severe redness, and essentially creates chemical burns.
And the records point out that when this massive dose caused severe physical agony for the inmates, Kligman didn't halt the trials.
No, he didn't. He actually viewed the intense irritation as a green flag that the compound was biologically active and working.
The ethical whiplash there is just staggering. I mean, the very cream we casually pick up at a department store to look refreshed for, like a high school reunion, was literally born from treating human skin like an expendable testing ground.
It's a harsh reality. It forces you to look at the cost of early medical knowledge. Kligman pushed the boundaries of human safety in a way that is entirely indefensible today.
Yet he arrived at a chemical understanding that entirely shaped modern dermatology.
Right. It raises a vital question about how we contextualize the medical advancements we benefit from. But moving from the history to the chemistry,
Yes.
knowing that those early high-dose versions caused such intense physical destruction, we really need to look at the modern cellular mechanics. Like, what is a modern, legally formulated retinol actually doing to your face to reverse aging without destroying your skin barrier?
Well, the chemical conversion process is where the magic happens. Retinol is a vitamin A derivative, but your skin cannot use over-the-counter retinol exactly as it comes out of the bottle.
Right. It doesn't just absorb it and use it immediately.
Exactly. If you rub it on your face, your skin cells don't immediately recognize it. For it to work, enzymes naturally present in your skin must convert it. First, it converts the retinol into retinaldehyde.
And
Then it undergoes a second enzymatic conversion into retinoic acid. And retinoic acid is the active bioavailable form that your skin cells actually bind to and respond to.
I love looking at this cellular conversion process like a relay race.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, so retinoic acid is the anchor runner, the final athlete who actually crosses the finish line and triggers the biological changes. Prescription tretinoin is like handing the baton directly to that anchor runner right at the finish line.
Right. There is no conversion needed.
Exactly. It is immediate, which is why prescription strength gives you much faster results. But it is also a massive shock to the system, making it much harsher on the skin.
Over-the-counter retinol, on the other hand, is like starting the race 2 runners back. The baton has to be passed from the retinol molecule to retinaldehyde and finally to retinoic acid.
It takes time for those enzymes to do the work.
Right. Because it's a slower, highly controlled race, the active ingredient trickles into your system, making it far gentler on your face.
And once that anchor runner crosses the line, once the retinoic acid binds to the retinoid receptors of your skin cells, the structural changes are profound. Dr. Shim Ching explains the mechanism beautifully.
What does he say?
He notes that as you age, your skin inherently gets thinner, looser, and more pigmented. Sun damage heavily accelerates this process by degrading your underlying support structures. Retinol actively reverses these specific signs by drastically speeding up your cell turnover rate.
Because in a normal, healthy adult, our skin renews itself shedding dead cells and bringing fresh ones to the surface about every 28 days.
Right, but retinol chemically forces that 28-day cycle down to about 14 days.
Wow, cuts it right in half.
Exactly. It puts your cellular metabolism into high gear. But it doesn't just exfoliate. Deep in the dermis, it upregulates the production of collagen and elastin, the vital structural proteins that keep your skin firm and bouncy.
And more importantly, it simultaneously downregulates enzymes called matrix metalloproteinases, or MMPs.
Yes.
I always picture MMPs as microscopic scissors. Whenever you are exposed to UV light or pollution, your skin produces these scissor enzymes, and they literally chew up and degrade your existing healthy collagen.
Which is exactly what causes sagging and wrinkles.
Right. But retinol swoops in and basically glues those scissors shut. It is playing both offense and defense. It is actively building brand new collagen while simultaneously stopping the destruction of the old collagen.
And that dual action is exactly why it visibly thickens the skin, fades hyperpigmentation, and smooths out deep wrinkles over time. You are fundamentally altering how your skin behaves at a genetic expression level.
You are basically forcing lazy, aging skin cells to act like young, energetic cells.
Exactly. But hitting fast forward on your skin's metabolism leads to a notorious phase that scares a huge percentage of beginners away.
Oh, yeah. If you speed up the rate at which your skin pushes things to the surface, everything hidden underneath comes up at once. I'm talking about the purge.
The retinol purge, often affectionately referred to as the retinol uglies.
So true.
Because you're increasing cell turnover from 28 days to 14 days, your skin starts rapidly pushing all the subterranean skin clogs, microcomedones, trapped oil, and impurities to the surface.
So a pimple that might have naturally surfaced like 3 months from now is suddenly pushed up next week.
Yes, all at once. During the first 2 to 4 weeks of using it, you can expect temporary redness, a sudden crop of pimples, little rough bumps, and noticeable flaking.
Sounds rough.
It is, but Dr. Ching heavily emphasizes that retinol is absolutely not an overnight fix. You have to intellectually prepare yourself to push through this purge phase.
Because the real visible changes, the glassy texture, the softened lines, the smaller looking pores, those typically only begin to appear between 6 to 12 weeks, right?
Right. The compounding anti-aging benefits build for months and even years with consistent use.
But let me ask you this for the listener. If you are standing in your bathroom looking at a red, peeling face, you need a reliable way to differentiate between a normal, expected purge that you should bravely push through versus a genuine chemical burn or a severely compromised skin barrier that requires you to stop immediately.
That is a crucial distinction.
How do you tell the difference? Because they sound awfully similar to someone experiencing it for the first time.
Well, a normal purge involves mild to moderate flaking, manageable dryness, and breakouts specifically in areas where you normally get pimples anyway. It might feel a bit tight or uncomfortable, but it shouldn't be agonizing.
Okay, so what about a compromised barrier?
A compromised skin barrier presents as severe angry redness across the whole application area. You will feel a constant burning or stinging sensation, especially when you apply plain, gentle moisturizers or even wash your face with water.
Oh, when even water stings, that's bad.
Very bad. The skin might look excessively shiny, almost like plastic, and feel raw to the touch. If your skin is stinging fiercely, you have pushed the cellular turnover too hard. You need to stop all active ingredients, heal your barrier with plain hydration, and reassess your approach.
Okay, so to survive that purge phase and safely reach that 12-week glow-up without burning your face off, you can't just slap a handful of retinol on and hope for the best.
No, absolutely not. You need a strict, strategic playbook for application. And the cellular mechanics of aging skin apply equally to men and women. So the routine and the rules Dr. Ching lays out are universal for anyone with a face.
Right. Dr. Jing's critical rules are the foundation of success here. Rule number 1, start incredibly slow. You only need a pea-sized amount for your entire face.
Yeah, any more than that will not give you faster results. It will only give you faster irritation. Apply it just 2 nights a week at first and build up your tolerance gradually over a month or 2. Consistency over years beats intensity over weeks every single time.
Rule number 2, nighttime application only. Retinoids are highly photolibal, meaning they are exceptionally light sensitive. Applying them during the day exposes the molecule to UV light, which instantly degrades the ingredient, rendering it completely ineffective before it can even penetrate the skin.
Perfect. Rule 3, buffer the skin. If you are a beginner or if you have sensitive skin, use the sandwich method.
I love the sandwich method.
It works so well. You apply a thin layer of basic moisturizer, let it dry, apply your pea-sized amount of retinol, and then apply another layer of moisturizer on top. This creates a lipid shield that protects your skin barrier and slows down the absorption rate just enough to prevent irritation without stopping the retinol from doing its job deep in the dermis.
And rule 4, daily sunscreen is absolute law. Because retinol is rapidly shedding dead skin and revealing fresh, brand new cells by speeding up that turnover, those new cells have very little protective melanin.
They are highly vulnerable to UV damage.
Exactly. Going out in the sun without a high SPF while using retinol will actively cause massive hyperpigmentation, basically undoing all the anti-aging benefits you are working so hard to achieve.
So true. Putting that all together into a core evening routine looks like this. First, wash your face with a gentle cleanser. Do not use exfoliating acids or harsh physical scrubs. Then, and this is a crucial step most people miss, dry your face completely. Wait a few minutes if you have to. Applying retinol to damp skin is a massive mistake because water acts as a penetrant enhancer. It pulls the retinol into the skin too quickly, causing massive irritation.
Wait, really? It has to be bone dry?
Bone dry.
Okay, so once your skin is bone dry, apply your pea-sized amount of retinol. Wait 5 to 10 minutes for the formula to fully absorb and settle into the skin. Finally, seal it all in with a rich, nourishing moisturizer, ideally one containing ceramides and peptides to support the structural integrity of your skin barrier overnight.
That meticulously timed routine is your absolute best defense against the purge. However, even with a flawless routine, standard drugstore retinols can sometimes be too unstable, degrade too quickly in the bottle, or simply use delivery mechanisms that are too harsh for daily use.
Right, which is why there's a gap between medical-grade efficacy and daily patient comfort. And that is exactly why top aesthetic experts like Dr. Ching completely re-engineered how the molecule is delivered.
Dr. Ching noticed a frustrating trend in his practice. He was recommending these incredible ingredients, but his patients were giving up on their routines after 3 weeks, simply because the dryness and irritation were too much to handle.
So what did he do?
To solve this exact problem, he developed his own specialized formulations, specifically the Age Defense Retinol Serum 5X for the face and his retinol body lotion.
And what makes these clinical formulations radically different from a basic drugstore cream is a proprietary time-release delivery system called Retinoid Active Pro Penetrant.
Exactly. Instead of flooding the skin receptors with a massive dose of active ingredients all at once, which triggers the redness and stinging it, microencapsulates the retinol. As it sits on the skin, the capsules slowly dissolve, trickling the ingredient into the dermis over several hours while you sleep.
The ingredient list on these formulations is fascinating, too. He formulates his highest quality retinol alongside bakuchiol. Bakuchiol is a plant extract that has taken the skincare world by storm recently.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere now.
He also heavily incorporates green tea polyphenols to calm redness, alongside ceramides and hyaluronic acid.
If you look closely at the formulation strategy, it's brilliant. By buffering the aggressive retinol with deeply soothing, barrier-repairing ingredients like ceramides and hyaluronic acid, you are not diluting its ultimate anti-aging power. You are optimizing the environment it works in.
Okay, I have to play devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
If retinol needs to agitate the skin to trigger that cellular turnover, doesn't wrapping it in a cozy blanket of green tea and ceramides dull the blade? Are we sacrificing medical-grade efficacy just to make the consumer feel more comfortable?
That is the exact debate that has shaped modern formulation, and the biochemical answer is no. You are not dulling the blade. The retinoic acid is still successfully binding to the cellular receptors and initiating that rapid cell division. What the ceramides are doing is instantly repairing the mortar between your skin cells on the very surface, preventing the microscopic cracks that lead to water loss and stinging. The retinol does its aggressive demolition and rebuilding work underneath, while the ceramides keep the roof intact.
Ah, I see. And the addition of bakuchiol is the real wild card here.
Bakuchiol is a molecular marvel. Clinical studies show it binds to the exact same retinoid receptors in the skin to stimulate collagen production, but its molecular structure doesn't trigger the same inflammatory cascade that vitamin A does.
So they work together.
By combining them, Dr. Ching is essentially doubling the collagen-stimulating signal to the cells while actively mitigating the localized inflammation. You are maximizing the efficacy while effectively neutralizing the side effects.
Knowing that ingredients like bakuchiol, hyaluronic acid, and ceramides play nicely with retinol naturally brings us to the most confusing part of skincare, the bathroom cabinet mixing game.
This is where people get so lost.
Let's open up the playbook for a rapid-fire Q&A based on Dr. Ching's clinical advice and dermatological data. Because if I am doing the sandwich method at night, I need to know what else is safe to layer and what is going to trigger a chemical reaction on my face.
Right. The layering confusion is where most barrier damage actually occurs. Let's get into it.
First up, can you use retinol around your eyes to treat crow's feet?
Yes, but with extreme caution. Standard face retinol is almost always too strong for the incredibly thin, delicate periorbital skin around your eyes. That skin has very few oil glands to protect itself.
So what should you use?
Dr. Chang specifically formulated the retinol eye luminescence for this exact physiological difference. The crucial application rule here is to apply a tiny, half-pea-sized amount strictly along the orbital bone, the hard bone you can physically feel under your eye and just below your eyebrow.
And not on the eyelid.
Never apply it directly onto the soft eyelid tissue. Your body heat will naturally cause the product to migrate closer to the eye.
Good to know. Next, and this is the most common mixing mistake I see, can you mix your retinol with vitamin C?
The definitive answer is no. Do not apply them at the same time in the same routine. The issue here is a severe pH conflict. Vitamin C, specifically in its most potent form of L-ascorbic acid, is highly acidic. It needs an environment with a pH of 3.0 to 3.5 to penetrate the skin effectively.
While retinol operates optimally at a much higher, more neutral pH of 5.5 to 6.5.
Exactly.
So what actually happens chemically if you layer them?
If you mix them directly on the skin, the retinol raises the pH of the vitamin C, completely neutralizing its antioxidant properties and rendering it useless. Simultaneously, the vitamin C lowers the pH of the retinol, which destabilizes the molecule and causes massive, stinging irritation.
So what's the golden rule?
The golden rule to avoid this chemical clash is vitamin C in the morning to protect against environmental UV and pollution damage, and retinol at night to facilitate cellular repair while you sleep.
What about mixing your nighttime retinol with niacinamide or hyaluronic acid serums?
Yes, those are the perfect biochemical companions. Hyaluronic acid is a powerful humectant that holds 1,000 times its weight in water, which directly combats the transepidermal water loss and dryness that retinol causes.
And niacinamide?
Niacinamide, which is vitamin B3, is fantastic because it actively stimulates your skin to produce its own natural ceramides, strengthening the skin barrier and significantly reducing the redness associated with the retinol purge. Applying niacinamide right before your retinol is actually a highly recommended buffering strategy.
Finally, a crucial safety question. Can you use retinol during pregnancy?
Absolutely not. It is universally advised by medical professionals to entirely avoid all topical retinoids during pregnancy and breastfeeding.
Is it because it gets absorbed?
While the systemic absorption of an over-the-counter topical cream is much lower than an oral medication like Accutane, high doses of vitamin A are known teratogens, meaning they can interfere with fetal development. The systemic risks, while debated regarding low-dose topical application, are simply not worth taking. Switch to pure bakuchiol or azelaic acid during pregnancy instead.
Well, if there is one core message for you to take away from all this cellular biology, it is that retinol is a marathon, not a sprint. It is a long-term investment in how your physical exterior ages.
That's the truth.
It requires patience, it requires diligent consistency, and it demands a profound respect for the structural science of your skin's barrier. If you follow the strict application rules, respect the chemistry of what you are mixing, and bravely push through the initial weeks of the purge, the rewards are scientifically proven, visually undeniable, and frankly unparalleled by any other ingredient on the market.
Consider how our human obsession with preserving youth has evolved over the decades. We started with highly dangerous, ethically bankrupt prison experiments that treated human skin as disposable collateral damage in the pursuit of science.
It's a huge leap to where we are now.
Today, we have engineered elegant, microencapsulated, slow-release serums formulated with botanical buffers that trick our cells into acting decades younger than they are. It really makes you wonder, as we continue to refine these potent molecules and master the biological pathways of aging, are we merely treating the cosmetic surface of our skin, or are these powerful cellular interventions fundamentally changing how our human bodies experience and physically display the passage of time?
Thanks for listening to the Plastic Surgery Playbook.